Every fighting game has great designs and terrible designs, which is what most people talk about, myself included. But today, I wanted to rant about something much worse. Because at least bad costumes are memorable in their own way. They can be funny or at least create discussion, right? But lazy designs are unforgivable. Especially in later games. The arcade era gets a pass from me because I think developers did the best they could at the time with limited resources, you know? But later games had no excuse, especially the most recent ones. So today, I'm ranking the most boring designs in Mortal Kombat history. They're lame, they're bland, and just all around uncreative, which is the biggest sin of all. How did we go from this to this? Yeah, I'm showing zero mercy in today's video, so leave a like down below if you want boring designs to never return. Because I'm okay with bad costumes, at least those create memories, but boring costumes should go away forever. Leave a like down below if you agree. Then for anyone new, I'm trying to reach 500,000 subscribers, so let's do it together. Alright everyone, without any further ado, let's begin. Alright, here we go, the most boring, lame, and all-around uncreative costumes in Mortal Kombat history. I wanted to begin with the design that inspired today's video. It's not the worst by any means, but it's definitely... yeah, it's bad. I'm talking about Mortal Kombat X Cassie Cage. That's right, her default costume, the first appearance of this character, who, keep in mind, was supposed to be the new main character. That's right, NetherRealm wanted Cassie Cage to front-run the series from now on. She was meant to be the new big character, and they gave us this. I'm sorry, but this gives generic Resident Evil soldier energy. You know what I'm talking about? The character that dies in the background and is nameless the whole time, that's how this looks. Now thankfully her haircut is interesting and the voice actress does an amazing job making Cassie likable. Then she also stole the best parts of Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade, so that helps out a lot. But today's video is about the designs, and when you see this outfit for Cassie Cage, it's so bland, not even any fun colors. It's all gray and desaturated. Keep in mind, when people cosplay this outfit, they make it blue, they give it some color, but in the game it's gray, so just keep that in mind. Yeah, there's a reason NetherRealm ditched this costume completely in the sequel. Now to be fair, Mortal Kombat 11 Cassie doesn't look much better, it's still very generic. However, at least there's color, right? So baby steps. MKX Cassie Cage is going in very lame, because I do think it could return with some changes, like more color and maybe unique items here and there to show Cassie's personality. But of course, if I mention Mortal Kombat X, I can't skip Jackie Briggs, because her outfit is also terrible. Not as bad as Cassie's because there's some camo patterns here and there and the metal gauntlets that make her outfit kind of interesting, while also reminding you that she's Baby Jax and meant to replace the character. Never forget, the Kombat Kids were meant to replace the main characters. NetherRealm really thought they were doing something crazy with this group. And to be fair, I like the Kombat Kids a bit, alright, but they were no way gonna replace the OGs. Yeah, I'm gonna put Jackie in boring because her outfit's still better than Cassie's. But next up, we have quite possibly the laziest outfit in Mortal Kombat history, and that's Hsu Hao's alternate in Deadly Alliance. Yeah, the most forgettable character in the series. Hsu Hao only exists due to memes. Without the memes, he'd be gone forever. And his default outfit is already pretty generic, but the alternate just takes away his hat and changes the pants color. That's it, and I wish I was joking. It's the laziest alternate costume in Mortal Kombat history. At least in my opinion, and that's saying something, to be sure. So yeah, there's not much else to say. I'm putting Hsu Hao in very lame. But oh boy, this next part could spiral into a huge rant, so I apologize in advance if that happens, but Mileena in Mortal Kombat 11 was done so dirty, and we as the fans waited so long for her to come back. I'm pretty sure most of you watching are aware of that whole situation where fans would not stop complaining to NetherRealm, bring back Mileena, death threat, all that crazy stuff, right? The Mileena fanbase got rabid, which NetherRealm was clearly aware of because Mileena says this for her intro.
Just trying to reckon why the hell you're back.
A million souls cried out for my return.
Yeah, so NetherRealm knew the demand was high for Mileena, and yet this is her default costume, and it's the most bland, most boring outfit Mileena's ever had. Definitely the worst by far. Now thankfully her other outfits are decent, but this default is so terrible, mainly because it's ordinary Asian attire, just without pants. Yeah, really inspiring. Nice job, fellas. I like to imagine Mileena had pants at first, because this was during NetherRealm's Purity arc where they were acting mature and more respectful to the characters, who don't exist by the way. You can't hurt Mileena's feelings, NetherRealm, but yeah, anyway, this outfit's terrible, let's keep ranting. I think Mileena had pants, but then they got removed last minute because yeah, it's Mileena and fans expect sex appeal. Even in Mortal Kombat 11, which tried so hard to remove the sex appeal, they had to do something, and so Mileena's pants went away. But honestly, her leggings look really bad too, since they're Earthrealm style, despite Mileena being an Outworlder. Why do her pants look straight from Earthrealm? This makes no sense. If not for being pink, nobody would know it's Mileena's outfit. And honestly, MK11 had some bad costumes in general, but Mileena stands out as the lamest, so I'm putting it in delete tier. Never bring this costume back, ever. Next up, a quick shout out to Kronika, because I made a full video revamping this character, talking about what works with her costume and what fails, and then making it better with my own unique design. So it's right here on screen, and make sure to check it out if you haven't already. That video is a trip. I really do enjoy how it turned out. I'm proud of that video. But yeah, default Kronika is just unappealing. She's bald, so no woman on Earth has cosplayed her. Not to mention all the dull colors like grays and whites and blacks, right? All the neutrals, not very creative. Even so, the outfit could be redeemed. I know that because I made a full video on that topic, so I'm putting Kronika in bland. However, sometimes an outfit that could work is put on the wrong character, which happened to Kai in Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Keep in mind, this character last appeared in Mortal Kombat 4, then was gone for 3 or 4 games straight. So yeah, it had been a while, and I think Midway used that as an excuse to revamp the character, but in doing so, they made him so generic. Here's Kai's original outfit from Mortal Kombat 4. You can tell he's a monk, and the outfit's kind of unique honestly, at least in Mortal Kombat. But here's his design in Armageddon. Yeah, there's a huge disconnect here. Kai lost his whole personality in this new look. It doesn't resemble him at all. He could honestly be a brand new character, which is a big mistake, and also it is generic, right? It's pretty boring. Yeah, and honestly, I'm putting it in delete tier because this outfit can't come back. You can't put it on Kai, and you can't put it on anybody else because we'd think, wait, is that Kai? So yeah, delete it. Get rid of this costume forever. Real quick, an honorable mention for Sonya Blade in Deadly Alliance, because it's not a terrible outfit, but for Sonya it just feels so generic and uninspired, which to be fair is a problem for Sonya in later games, starting in the 3D era. I feel like in the arcade era they knew what Sonya was supposed to be. She wears green and typically yoga pants or something tight, right? That's Sonya's whole gimmick. But then for the 3D era they went full military, or at least military casual with Sonya Blade, and that became her entire shtick. So ever since, her outfits have been really terrible or just unfitting like Mortal Kombat 9, but MKX, MK11, they're so boring and generic. Honestly, I could make a full video talking about Sonya's identity crisis and how the developers don't know how to dress her, because in every game she gets an overhaul. So let me know what a title should be for that video, right? Talking about Sonya's designs changing so much in the games and how there's no consistency. Anyways, I would say Sonya in Deadly Alliance goes in the boring tier. It's not terrible, but just kind of bland, right? It looks very casual and uninspired. But then we have a twofer. That's right, Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 1. This outfit would be fine if it was a dating simulator, but it's not. Johnny Cage's default and alternate costume are very boring. The alt is the worst. I'm putting it in delete forever because my goodness, you can't get lamer than this. It's so boring and terrible. Why did this get approved? How did this get approved? It's so bad, NetherRealm. But then we have his default, which makes sense in the context of story mode. I'm just saying his dress shirts pants combo should have been the alternate outfit, and then his default should actually be fighting attire. Because yeah, it's a fighting game, so all the default costumes for characters should be their fighting attire, and then casual fits should be the alternate sometimes. That's how NetherRealm should have done it. Now to be fair, the fabric looks nice, the textures look good, it's a nice fit if you're going on a date. But for a fighting game and a default costume, the MK1 fit was terrible. I'm putting it in, bland. Yeah, it's just kind of bland. Because at least in earlier games he wore a suit, like a tuxedo. That's more fun and interesting. But since we're on the topic of Mortal Kombat 1, I gotta mention Li Mei, especially after seeing the concept art. How did you fail this badly, NetherRealm? And furthermore, why do you keep doing it? MK11 had a similar problem. They revealed the concept art, and that was a mistake because almost all the designs were better than what we got in the final version of the game. Just look at this concept art for Li Mei. On the far right is what we got, and it's by far the most generic and boring. I personally would have picked any of the other ones besides that. The far left has a bit too much color and looks like the generic V, so I'm gonna skip that one since Li Mei should look a bit different. This one in the middle looks like a pirate, which is kind of neat and honestly would have been a better story for Li Mei than a cop. But regardless, these two are the best. I would say on the right, that's the default, then on the left is her alternate, both some different colors, because both of them say cop, and that's what Li Mei is supposed to be, a cop. Also, the hairstyles here look more interesting. In the final game, it's a generic ponytail, because I think NetherRealm wanted her to be the new Sonya, since Sonya's missing in this game, and they were like, don't worry fans, Sonya might be gone, but we gave you a new ponytail cop. Maybe that's just me, but it's how it feels with Li Mei's new design because she looks nothing like Li Mei and has Sonya's ponytail. It's all kind of weird. Yeah, I would say bland. It's one of the most boring costumes in Mortal Kombat, and certainly Mortal Kombat 1. But alright, then finally, to end this video today, we have Shujinko. Yeah, I'm sorry, I love this character's concept. He's a nice guy too, but his wardrobe is awful. Browns and dull yellows. It looks like someone crapped all over his uniform. It's just not good. For some characters like Trimmer, the brown makes sense because he's an earthbender, but with Shujinko, a character that can copy everyone's abilities, brown and dull yellow just feels so not fun. Which is bad because Shujinko was the new main character, right? At least for one game, Shujinko was the main draw. He's the new main protagonist, and yet he could not look more boring. Plus he's old, which is typically undesired by most gamers, right? Typically we don't like the old man characters unless they've got tons of personality like Heihachi or something. Yeah, if NetherRealm brings back Shujinko, they've got to overhaul his design completely. He can still be old, but give him a better outfit. Oh wait, they did in Mortal Kombat 1, and it looks worse somehow. Like it's even more generic and lame. Shujinko, I'm sorry buddy, but you're going in very lame. And alright everyone, there you have it, ranking the most dull and boring designs in Mortal Kombat history. As mentioned earlier, I think boring is worse than terrible, because at least terrible can create memories, right? Or at least fun discussion, people mock it, all that stuff. But boring designs are forgotten forever, until today because I made a tier list video about them. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below, and then finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell so we never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.